Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to ask you guys the question, are vices preventing you from reaching your full potential? So guys, listen, vices are very, very dangerous when it comes to creating momentum in your life and success, right? They are a huge hindrance to any sort of endeavor that you want to commit to. Obviously I can speak from experience with, prior things I've dealt with, such as pornography, video games, overeating, right? So those are some things that I've personally dealt with and have been able to overcome and still battle here and there to this day. But for the most part, I've been able to really get a grip on them. So what are some vices let's take it back a notch. So I'm not going to talk really about like hard drugs like heroin, fentanyl, crack, cocaine, whatever else, meth, if you will. But I'm going to really talk about the most commonly forms that are accepted, right? So you got pornography, you have overeating, you have alcohol, and marijuana, right? So those four, and I mean I could add video games, but I really just want to talk about those four things because I feel like video games aren't that bad in comparison to the other four that I mentioned. So as far as common drugs that people accept, like everyone just accepts that, on the weekends you're gonna go out, you're gonna drink, you're gonna party, you're gonna order a bunch of food, or you're gonna smoke with your buddies or your girlfriends or whatever whatever gender you are, or that you're gonna watch pornography and it's natural, it's healthy for you to like this freaking health websites on the internet like to say that masturbation is healthy and that it's something that it's normal and you should do it and this and that, right? So basically what I'm kind of pointing to is the fact that the vices that I'm going to talk about are mostly generally accepted in the mainstream world and society. So so let's begin. What do I want to start with? Let's start with pornography, right? Because I can really delve deep into that. But pornography, guys, is very, it robs you of not only like mental clarity, but it also robs you of like creative potential. It robs you of like bodily vitality and vigor and aggression that you need to go out there and conquer your goals and ambitions, right? So on a very practical, scientific, physiological level, pornography is very destructive. So it's very destructive, and then on top of that, it's very addictive, right? And I've mentioned this in another video, and I don't know which drug specifically it is, but I do know that it has the same basic chemical reaction or amount of dopamine that it releases as, I think it's cocaine or crack, one of the two. Don't quote me on that, but do your research on that. I don't. It's one of those two. But basically, it's very addictive, and it has a very detrimental effect on your ability to just be overall productive, right? I mean, I can go into the spiritual chakras and all that, but I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just going to keep it very practical, right? So that's one thing that if you're struggling with, it's important to fast, it's important to pray, it's important to just be active, be productive, right? So it's not something that you're going to be able to conquer in a month or 2 months or a year, right? Like I still have to make sure that I fast, make sure that I pray, make sure that I'm productive, right? Because I know that at any point, if I'm idle or if I'm just caught off guard, I can slip into temptation, and then there you go, I'm back to square one. So it's something that you really need to get a grip on, right? I'm going to bring up a quote here from the Bible, a Bible verse. This is Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19. So it says, "Know you not that your body is the temple of God, which is in you, which you have of God, and you are not your own." So basically in that verse, it's saying that your body is a temple, right? And it has the Holy Spirit inside of it, right? And what I'm alluding to here is that if you are not careful and you don't take care of your body, and you're just you're sexually impure, and you're not watching your pornography usage, or you're just out of control in that sense, how it's basically, it's like, how is God going to express itself through himself fully through you? Sorry. It's not going to happen, right? Because you're blocked. You're basically, you're like a zombie. You know, you have the clouds are completely taking over your consciousness, and it's impossible for God to get through to you. Basically, he can still work, you know, mad miracles and help you overcome it, but it's just a lot more difficult for him to work through you, as opposed to when you're clean. So that's very important to kind of take in. So now that we've covered pornography, let's talk about alcohol, right? So alcohol is detrimental. It's obviously, it's a depressant, but the thing is with alcohol, it's like, okay, it robs you of your time and your recovery, right? So it's not so much that, you know, one drink here and there is going to hurt you, but in our society, you know, even you know, college students, and you know, I manage a gas station, right? And every Friday, you know, you have the workers, you know, at night that come in, and you know, they just get off their job from their restaurant, or they were landscaping all day, or they were doing hard labor, and you know, I get it, they want to get drunk, they want to have a good time, but just realize that, you know, every Friday, for example, right, that you do that, or Saturday, whatever it is, that you get drunk, or you go, you know, hang out with your family, or you party, or you do this, or you do that, right? Just realize that you're hurting your ability to be effective on the weekends, right? Like, you know, obviously on this channel, I talk about a lot about success and financial prosperity as well. So if, you know, you're working your 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, right? And, you know, you have your weekends off and you have all that free time, right? Why are you gonna hurt your ability to work on a side hustle and, you know, pursue your goals on the weekend, right? By, you know, being hungover or being sleep deprived, or just anything of that sort, right? So, you know, because if you party Friday and Saturday, right? So, you know, Friday, right? Let's say you get super drunk. Well, now you're hungover Saturday morning, right? So you might sleep. You're probably gonna sleep in because your body needs to detox from all the alcohol that you consumed, right? So let's say you get up at noon, right? On a Saturday, half the day is already over, right? So, and then again, right? So you spend all that time, you know, recovering, you get up, you know, maybe you do whatever, but then Saturday night, you know, you're partying again. And then Sunday morning, it's the same thing. Now half the day is over because you're still recovering. And, you know, mind you, Saturday and Sunday, the days that you're recovering, basically, you know, the throughout the day, you're not even in a really like clear state anyway, because you're still kind of hungover, you're still kind of in a fog. So it's like you're not even in a state to be able to be effective from a productive standpoint, right? So it's very detrimental. It's very detrimental. Alcohol, even, you know, like I said, if you're like, for me, for example, like I'll have a drink once every 2 weeks or something. You know, if I feel like if I had a stressful day, you know, and I want to just have one drink, but I'm not making it a lifestyle where I'm, you know, I'm telling my friends or whatever, you know, college buddies or whatever, if I'm in college, I'm not telling them, hey man, every weekend, let's go on a binge. That's ridiculous, right? Especially if you're trying to create positive momentum in your life. It is a real big problem, right? And I'm just talking about weekends. Some people drink every single night. They get drunk every night, right? But I'm just talking about the weekends. So that's very important to take in. So yeah, that's alcohol for you. And then third is marijuana, right? So marijuana, especially when it's, you know, when you smoke it as a man, it's very, very harmful for your testosterone levels, and it kills your motivation, right? That's the biggest thing I notice about weed is, you know, even back in high school, I smoked for like 3 months, and I just noticed I was just in a haze. I was in a haze and I had no motivation, right? It's like you smoke, you hang out with your buddies, you go home, you go to sleep. You don't really care about doing too much from a productive standpoint, right? So weed is very toxic to your mind. It's toxic for your, you know, it's just not ideal. It's just not ideal to smoke weed. And then also weed, right, is it makes you have the munchies, right? So not only are you lowering your testosterone, but now you're hungry and you're ordering a bunch of food or you're pigging out. And guys, when you're when you're high, right? Or if you've never been high, but when you're high, when you want to eat food, you want to go to like McDonald's, you want to order ice cream, you want to eat all this garbage, right? It's not like you're picking out on like steak or like vegetables or fruit. It's like you're eating the worst food possible, right? Because it tastes the best, and that's, it tastes good when you're high. So that is something that really can screw you up. So first off, weed kills your motivation, it lowers your testosterone levels, and then obviously it's gonna mess up your digestion, because when you get the munchies, you're gonna go eat some unhealthy food that's difficult to process, that doesn't have any enzymes, it's dead, it has no water. So your digestion is now in a state of it's being overworked now. Your digestive system is overworking to process all the garbage you just ate, basically. So now you're sleeping more than you should. You're sleeping in, and it's just, again, it's not ideal for creating a successful life at all, right? I don't know any success. I'm starting to really think about it. Like Joe Rogan and like Mike Tyson might be the only people that smoke weed, but you guys aren't Joe Rogan. I'm not Mike Tyson. Like, we're just regular people, right? So we're not. Some people it might work. They might be the exception to the rule, but I feel like for 95% of people, it's not ideal at all, right? So number 4, that's alcohol. Number 4 is overeating, right? This is not really something that people think of as harmful or something that's to be really like concerned about, but it is something to be concerned about, right? You guys know I say it all the time, but 70% of the United States population is overweight or obese. So the numbers are there, right? We are a fat, sick, gluttonous nation. We just eat a lot. We don't move and we eat a lot. So what happens when you overeat? Well, first off, you get fat. So your testosterone is going to go down because you're going to accumulate more fat tissue. And when you accumulate more fat tissue, your testosterone goes down, your estrogen goes up. That's why you see a lot of guys with man titties, right? So when you're fat, I know a lot of people that are fat, they're lazy, right? A lot of fat people are lazy, and it's not that it's like their choice to be lazy. It's just it's a lot harder to move all that weight. You know what I mean? Like if you're trying to do like construction, or you're doing a job that is physically demanding, and you're, 300 pounds, well, if you have a difficult if you have a poor work ethic, maybe it's not the job, maybe it's just you need to lose some weight. You know what I mean? So overeating is something that can hurt you. So first off, right, I just mentioned the fact that it kills your testosterone levels and it boosts your estrogen, right, as a guy. So that's one thing that's going to obviously hurt your motivation and hurt your ability to be effective and move quick, right? But also when you overeat, throughout the day or whatever, now your digestion is poor. So now you have to sleep more, right? So it's like, it's a lose-lose situation. There's no benefit to it, right? So your testosterone's down, your estrogen's high, you can't move because you're overweight, you're fat. You're not sleeping well because you're sleeping 10 hours a night, 11 hours a night, which is a complete waste of time. You could be up earlier in the day being productive, right? And then another thing is when you eat those foods, right? Most people that are fat are not eating healthy food, right? So when they're consuming all the high fructose corn syrup, all the seed oils, all the gluten products, all the salt and the sodium, right? All the toxic crap. You can look at the back of a bag of chips, right? You can see all the ingredients that are in there. It's like it belongs in a chemical lab, not in your stomach. So when you factor all of this in, it's very troublesome. And think about it, right? When you eat all that food, right? You eat all those toxic chemicals from the food that you ate, your body is thinking, like the satiety levels in your brain are not being triggered. So your body, even though you consumed a whole bunch of chips or pizza or candy or whatever the hell people eat nowadays, your body wants more of it because first off, it's addictive, and then second off, it's not satiated because there's no nutrients. So that's the real cause of overeating, the addiction to food, is that they put addictive chemicals in the food, and then on top of that, they rob the nutrients out from, the more it's processed, the more basically the more it's processed, the less nutrients it has. So the less nutrients it has, the more your body craves it, because it feels like it's not getting anything. So you just keep eating and eating, but you're not being satisfied at all, right? I mean, you're being satisfied from a dopaminergic standpoint, on a dopamine level, but on a satiety level, you're not. So that's something that I really feel strongly about, that is very overlooked in our world today. You know, food and overeating and just like obesity and, you know, overweight individuals. It's something that's very overlooked in our world today. So yeah, I mean, those are the 4 vices. I wanted to bring up another Bible verse that I thought was very pertinent to what we were talking about. So this is Isaiah chapter 52, verse 11. It says, depart you, go you out from thence, touch no unclean thing, go you out of the midst of her, be ye clean that bear the vessels of the Lord. So basically in that verse, God's saying, hey, you know, when you're not clean, when you're, you know, indulgent in these dirty, you know, these unclean things, like the things I've been talking about in this video, you know, basically God's saying that you're a vessel for the Lord, and that your body is something that is an instrument. It's like your game piece, right? It's an instrument that the Lord can work through and play to communicate what it wants to communicate, right? God's trying to express itself through you. And when you're unclean, when you're sick all the time, when you're fat, how is God gonna express itself fully through you? It's gonna be a very weak vessel, right? And God can't express himself through weak vessels. That's what Satan does, right? Satan controls the weak vessels, right? But God wants to express itself through clean, pure vessels. So that's kind of it, guys. I mean, I know this is a little long-winded here, but I feel like this is very important, right? Because there's 3 things that I kind of want to talk about to summarize this. Vices are very destructive in 3 ways. They rob you of your money, your time, and your energy, right? So let's talk about weed and alcohol, right? Robs you of your money and your time and your energy, right? Pornography may not rob you from your money because it's free, but it's still, you know, you spend hours clicking through videos trying to find the thing that turns you on, right? And then, you know, like an hour or 2 later, you finally find a video, just wasted 2 hours, and you lost all of your nutrients that your semen contains, right? So bam, now you just wasted a bunch of time and your energy's already diminished, right? Your testosterone's low, you lost phosphorus, zinc, vitamin B12, all of it. So yeah, that's another thing. And then overeating is also a waste of time. You know, you're spending time going to the store, buying food, going out to this restaurant, and you're also wasting time, because the time you could have had, you know, basically if you're sleeping 10 hours a night, you really should be able to get by with 7 or 8. That's a waste of 2 to 3 hours already to start your day, because your body is digesting and trying to process get rid of all the toxic chemicals that you just ingested the day before. So these things have a real detriment. Those are the most important things in life, guys. Money, right? Everyone needs money, energy, your energy levels, and your time. What is more important than those 3 things, right? Everything in life that's good stems from those 3 things. Right? When you have enough money, life's good. When you have plenty of time, you have enough energy, life's good. You're able to conquer things, accomplish things. You're able to feel good throughout your day. People like you more because you're happy, you're energetic, right? So things are just much better when all those 3 things are in place. And these vices, unfortunately, are not conducive to, you know, a successful life just in general. So yeah, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.